Well, hey AP students, Mr. Abasian here. You're watching this video so that you get a little bit more explanation on how to complete mind maps, which are your last type of homework assignment that you can complete in doing notes for your Brinkley textbook. So far we've done Cornell notes that have incorporated themes, key concepts, and vocabulary. We've done a second option for you to prove your knowledge on your textbook reading has been thematic questions incorporating vocabulary as well. This is the third and final option, mind map. It's a lot less structured, much more open to you that are creative that are out there as well, and being able to basically do this. It's a brainstorming web, allowing any type of organization centered around predominant themes themed throughout the chapter. It's an amazing way to organize the information and one that I'm going to open up for the rest of the school year going forward here. So, a couple of things that I want to show you. Number one, your mind maps must have key concepts, okay? So much like I've been showing you, and those things that are in parentheses are a little bit more of a hint of what to focus on, you have to incorporate these just like you've been doing for your Cornell notes. You'll have to scatter them throughout your mind maps to make sure that you're being held accountable to the content. You're also going to have to put in our proper noun vocab terms here, and so you're going to have to underline those or specifically highlight them as they pop up in your mind maps as well. So this doesn't change. Vocab, key concepts are still part of the equation. All right, Abasian. Well, how do I organize these mind maps? Well, Brinkley, the author of your textbook, has actually done that for you. And I've actually listed in your homework overview the subtitles and the arrangements that he's put this in. And what you can do is you can take these subtitles, and I'll only do it for this chapter. The rest of them, if you want to use a mind map, I think you get the idea that there's major subtitles, which are underlined here, and minor ones that have the dash next to it. This is a good way for you to organize your mind map, and we can tie it in through themes. Yes, your bagpipe themes that we have introduced since the beginning of the school year. I'm going to ask you to tie in these subtitles to thematic or bagpipe themes throughout the year in a way of organizing the information in a mind map. So let's take this for example. Okay, I've got all of the different subtitles that are listed here, and I've got the bagpipes. So if I'm looking at the cotton economy, and I'm like, okay, the rise of King Cotton with our cash crop that's there, Southern trade and industry, sources of Southern differences, I'm looking at that and I'm like, well, that's easy. Work exchange and technology is going to be probably incorporated with these parts. So I can tie in each one of these parts to that theme of work exchange and technology. When it's talking about white society in the South, I'm talking about the planter class. The Southern lady, plain folk. Okay. Now I'm getting a little bit more into the culture part that I want to make that focus on. Maybe that could also have something to do as well with not just that planter class or honor a Southern lady, but maybe that has something to do with identity as well. So I can definitely do more than one, and I can even mix and match themes across each parts of these. Oh, okay. So they're sectioned by themes, they're organized. Okay, so Abasian, what does this look like then? Well, let me give you a couple of layouts you can do. This is one of them, all right? And take this for granted, this was done out of an old textbook that we used to use in this AP class, but it's going to get across the purpose, but there's still some things you'll need to add. So you'll notice this student in particular decided that they would go dependence on slaves, and that they would tie in each one of that dependency on slavery to some of the subtopics that are there. And you'll notice throughout they have highlighted their vocabulary terms that are here. Okay? So with that, you're noticing it's not just a bullet point that's here, but what we want to do is we want to give an explanation of how it ties into the theme. So for example, you can see abolitionism that's here is tied in with slave uprisings, which can go to radical abolitionists, which points to William garrison, and there's a lot of different connections they're making. So it's not just giving me a definition of what it is, but how it ties into a theme. Now you'll notice what they're missing. They're missing the key concepts and actually relating it back to the theme. Here's a much better one where you're going to notice that they've organized each one of their subtitles under the theme of what it is. And they've listed the key concepts there as well. You'll notice, of course, vocab is highlighted as well. And you'll notice that it's on a separate sheet of paper. In fact, they've taken multiple sheets of paper to be able to do that. Now, here's what this one is missing. Again, I like showing you some of the bad, the good ones. They're missing the connection to the theme. Like, how do these actually relate? How do they tie in? Where's the arrows there? Well, and yes, you could do this through a computer if you'd like as well. But what we have here is connections to themes. Like, this is chapter 24, which will be coming up. But you'll notice, like, the iron colt becomes iron, binding the country with railroad ties. It all comes down to that connection, and the theme and the key concepts should be listed here. So you'll notice they've got proper nouns that are listed here, but what I want is some commentary that's there. How do they connect into the theme? But it's up to you, basically, of the way that you want to organize this. So those are some examples to give you a hint, going back to your themes as being the central point that's there. But literally going forward after this, you'll notice that this is an option now that's on the table. Cornell notes, thematic questions, and then mind maps. So I hope this gives you an idea of how to go about organizing your mind maps. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to drop me a line or come and see me anytime at break, lunch. I hope this helps. Thanks, everyone.